So this one might not be as useful as it would have been some number of years ago when COVID hit and everybody started working remote full time. I've been working fully remote for over a decade at this point, so I feel uniquely qualified as an expert to talk about work effectively in a fully remote environment. I think the biggest, most important thing that determines if someone's going to be successful in a fully remote environment is personal accountability. I've seen it over and over again that people with high personal accountability thrive in this environment, right? Like if you're the kind of person that like, oh, let me go get a coffee break, let me run to Starbucks, let me go fold the laundry, let me do this or that, that's not work related, you absolutely struggle to be effective in full remote. You have to be highly accountable, personally accountable to really thrive and make it in a fully remote environment. I think it's really important too to make sure that you're comfortable and set up for success. You need a good, comfortable chair. Something with a nice backrest that gives you good back support, arch support. Find your Zen place. You could see the office that I've got kind of set up here. I've got some of my personality in it, where collectibles and things like that. I'm a big fan of having a separate keyboard, mouse, and monitor set up. You can't see I've got a second monitor over here. I've got a keyboard and a mouse that I'm not necessarily using the ones on the laptop in front of me, so that you can really break that out and be more efficient. In fact, I think this is even kind of a super pro tip that I personally like to work on this sort of a setup so much that if I'm downstairs or get some work that I need to do that I'm not in this setup with a full keyboard, I'm trying to do it with my thumbs on a phone or something, that but you know what, I'll do that later once I'm in my setup where I can be fully efficient at working. For me, it's kind of a side way to set those kind of boundaries about where and how you can work. Next, I think it's important to try and keep some consistent practices or scheduled elements of your day. I personally believe that you should force yourself to take a full lunch break. Take a full hour in the middle of your day. Go for a walk. Go eat lunch away from your computer somewhere. If you're the kind of person, go watch an episode of Netflix if that's what you need. Away from your computer, on your TV, if it forces you to get up and take a break. Drink a lot of water and stay hydrated during your day. There are multiple benefits from this. A lot of times when you're hungry, you're actually thirsty. So it's a great way that if you stay hydrated, you'll reduce your hunger. Hydration also helps prevent fatigue. I could do a whole episode on just the advantages of actually consuming lots and lots of water as you sit there during the day. But another big advantage of drinking water consistently is it will force you to take 15-minute breaks on a regular basis. I very much believe in the importance of over communicating in a fully remote environment. And what do I mean by over communicating? First of all, I think it's very important to understand how different individuals like to be communicated to. Some people prefer to do things in Slack all day. Some people prefer to call you. Some people prefer to text you. Some people prefer an email. All those are very different forms of communication, and different people like them differently. It's very easy to lose context of things in an email. You could be just saying something matter of factly, and you could really hurt somebody and not even know it. There are some general guidelines and rules that I like to follow, and that is for Slack or instant message. I think that is absolutely for quick communication, questions, notifications, blasts, things like that are just very quick things that go out. In my book, email is for larger ask and larger group shares where you can add more of the context. Remember that anytime you Slack somebody, you're interrupting whatever they're doing. So be mindful of that. Also, if you're going back and forth with someone a whole bunch on something like Slack, or just jump on a call. It's amazing the clarity that you could get on just a 5-minute call that you don't get in kind of that going back and forth. You lose some of that context and words that you can get in seeing people's emotions, expressions, and understanding the tone of their voice. It's just super important, and it's a touch point with someone real. That when you work fully remote, sometimes you don't get as many of those human interaction touch points that humans, very social animals, crave, need, and desire. So indulge yourself in some of that, if you will. Because we don't have water cooler moments anymore, it's totally acceptable and expected to start and end conversations with small talk. How was your weekend? What are you doing this weekend? Did you see X? Learn about people's hobbies and interests so that follow-up calls, the more you engage with them, you can have some of that small talk. It's absolutely good and healthy to do those things. Find you a work buddy or two that you can have gossip with. Someone, there's things that you don't necessarily want to share the dirty laundry, but you need somebody that understands what's going on with you in your workday that's not your spouse or your friends out of work, but somebody that's in the meat grinder there with you that you can have those kind of things to just vent. Right? Have those therapy sessions with it, understand what's going on, and can kind of share and express those things with you. Super, super important and valuable to find that in a remote environment too. Finally, it's great to have optional Slack channels or something that people can have for different hobbies and interests for subsets of people. I'm a big fan of sharing pictures of my kids, dogs, things like that. Things that people can relate to. Everybody loves animals. Everybody loves kids, babies, things like that. Let people know more about you, and then hopefully they'll do some of that back and let you learn about them and their interests. It just builds stronger, tighter bonds between your coworkers. And when you build those stronger bonds, guess what? You work together. And all of that is a wonderful, great thing that just makes you feel more fulfilled and appreciate and enjoy the people and time that you spend together with your coworkers. Just a handful of tips and best practices that I found working remote. And hopefully there's something in there that you can take and learn from and apply to your daily routines. But I'll ask, what have I missed? What are some things that you might do that you absolutely recommend? Leave them in the comments. And look forward to learning from you too. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.